Yes, welcome back, my friends. It is I, the Redneck JT. I'm back once again on your Monday evening for this very special part 2. However, we are now Avenger Pretenders. That's right, the Geek and the Redneck are back one more time. Tonight we are reviewing episode 1 of Loki. So, hopefully you topped off your beverage, went potty, and grabbed something else to drink during that little break, because it's time to go. Sully, it's all yours.
Oh, well, hello and welcome once again to a brand new episode of Avenger Pretenders. We're going 2 for 2 today. We just did 2 Ewoks in the park. We had to finish it out. We had to. So we're back. Refresh your screens. Here we go. We're ready to rock and roll. And man, we're going back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's right, folks. We're going back there. And look, by the way, JT's got new lights. He's got new lights. And he changed his shirt, too.
Yeah.
I did not have time to go change.
Characters.
That's a good shirt, man. I like it. I did not have time.
It's the only event or Marvel one that I have. So,
oh, there you go. Hey, listen, you're in the right direction. I did not get to change my shirt. I didn't have time because I was in the process of switching everything over and making sure everything was good to go. So we're gonna go right down to it. We're back, folks. It's time for Loki. Loki season 2, the only show on Disney Plus to get a second season. The only one. It's the only one. It's crazy if you think about it. But the cool thing is we get to do it and we get to share. That's right. We get to be a part of things and have a good time. And we start the entire season off exactly where we left off in season 1, which was Mobius had no idea who Loki was. So if you don't remember that, go back, watch the last episode. I mean, they do the whole, hey,
yeah, you can do the review
in case you missed it type thing, where they recap everything, and sure enough, that's what happened. Sylvie killed the one who remains, and he said, "I'll see you soon." And Loki goes back to the TVA. The only difference is they don't know who he is. And the TVA is in an uproar because, wow, there are timelines branching every which direction you can think of. It is absolutely crazy. So we started off by Loki being chased by Mobius and the Minutemen. It's crazy. We see him running down the hall. We see Kang the Conqueror's face in the background, all the statues, the TVA is just all over the place. And Loki on the run. Here's Mobius confirming that he doesn't know who he is, even though Loki's like, "Hey, wait a second, you know me, we were just doing this and this. What's going on?" And yeah, it happens, but he who remains is all over the place. And Loki runs into Casey. Guys, do you remember Casey? I remember Casey. Casey's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
You know, he's a good guy. He works, you know, in filing and whatnot. And he says, "Do you know me?" No, I don't know you.
I have the invader.
We got a level 5 intruder. Level 5 intruder. That's what we got. And Loki goes, "Shit." I'm on the run again. Oh my God. Why? But the cool thing, and I thought this was pretty interesting, was as this was going on, Mobius has no idea who Loki is, but we see Loki kind of do like a. You remember the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where was it Agent Smith, one of the Agent Smiths, and they're shooting the bullets, and he splits apart, and he's like going all different directions and dodging the bullets really fast.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah. But in this case, it was more grotesque, so to speak, when it comes to Loki, because this was showing him. It was almost like he was getting ripped apart. Like, did you notice that? It looked like he was getting like.
Well, yeah, but basically he was.
Twisted and.
I've got to say, and I've said this about Marvel before.
Yes.
When it comes to special effects.
Yes.
And things like that, they are on par to nobody. The way that they show him time slipping, and his face gets pulled off this way and then that way and then this way, but it all looks so freaking realistic.
Oh, hands down.
You don't even consider the fact that it's computer generated.
Yeah, no, you don't.
It's just so smooth. It's like, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's just so amazing that they are able to do this.
Yeah.
There is no, I mean, the people in the Star Wars franchise are very, very close.
Yes. Well, but
nobody holds a light to Marvel when it comes to the abilities and the things that they have done with CGI graphics in all of their series.
Industrial light and magic, baby.
It's amazing the work that they do. I've just got to say that because you think about the things that we saw in season 1 of Loki.
Yeah.
They took what we saw in season 1 of Loki and blew it away.
Oh, in one shot.
In the first 10 minutes of this episode.
In one shot. Especially since when we see Loki getting twisted and pulled and torn apart, he disappears.
And then poof, gone.
He disappears, only this time he's in front of Casey again.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey's like, Loki, what are you doing here? He's like,
oh, you know me.
You know me. Where's Mobius? I need Mobius now. So he brings him to Mobius and Hunter B-15, who was very pivotal at the end of the last season. And he gets all twisted and contorted again, and he's gone. And Casey looks back and he's like, Loki? Hello? Loki? Where'd you go?
Yeah, all he hears is behind him.
Yep, gone.
Huh?
Just gone.
Where'd you go?
So Mobius and B-15 are notified that Loki is suddenly reappearing and disappearing while they're discussing the timelines. And the timelines are getting split up, and you can see it on the screen. And they're called to the war room. And while they're called to the war room, I thought this was really cool, where they're discussing everything that's going on that they now know about with the TVA and how their minds have been wiped constantly. And I mean, like, hands down, constantly for God knows how many years, and
400, 500, 600 years.
Maybe more.
Maybe more. Because they don't have any recollection of this. And time works differently in the TVA. That's the one thing you got to remember, is that time works differently for the TVA. So that makes things a little bit more interesting, so to speak. Will says it was 1,000.
Yeah, or more, because Mobius is over 1,000. Which is what they did mention that. They did mention that Mobius was at least over 1,000 years old. TVA wise. But a lot of the stuff that they've already shown with his memory wipes has been, a jet ski and stuff that makes him happy. So, he's at least in there for modern times, some way, shape, or form. Right. But again, we don't know what timeline he's from. We don't know what branch he's from. We just know that he likes jet skis and one day he's going to want one. So, and to be honest, I can't blame him. I really can't.
Right.
I can't blame him at all. I'd be like, yeah, sounds about right. I want a jet ski too. It's very happy. Jet skis make people happy. Just putting it out there. Makes people very, very happy. And it should.
Yeah.
It should
make people happy. That's what it's there for.
It's what it's there for and all that good stuff. And it needs to stay that way. So from there, we've got, and I'm just setting something up real quick here because I want to make sure that everybody sees what I'm going to show in a little bit here. The as he's going through, Loki is noticing that he's going to the past and then back to the present as he would know it for the TVA. So there's a lot that he's still trying to figure out while he's blipping, I guess you could say, if you want to. Well, we can't call it the blip.
It's time slipping. Time
slipping is what and we'll get into it. But once they're notified that he's reappearing and disappearing, and they go to the war room, Loki follows them. He follows them. He goes, war room. So he's going to run to the war room. When he gets there, nobody's there. Nobody's in the war room.
And this is like seconds after we watched Morgan and what's her name walk into the war room.
Mobius
Sorry,
and B-15.
I had the first two letters right, okay?
You did.
I'm still stuck in Star Wars land.
I know, it's weird. It's weird. But you, as they're in there, B-15 is arguing that, wait a minute, this is what's happening. You're erasing people's minds and time and all that. These are people that need to live their lives. Like they're fighting for the people of these timelines.
Yeah. You're killing people by the thousands.
Yes. And it's funny because at the same time in the war room that Loki is in, and this was what I thought was really cool. He's seeing the multiple heads of He Who Remains. But in the one that Mobius and B-15 are in, you can see the 3 robotic statues on the wall. And you see the robotic head on the table. Which was a callback to the previous season because one of their robots was beheaded by Loki and Sylvie. But she also, Loki, while he's walking around, plays a recording talking with He Who Remains talking with Ravonna Renslayer. But at the same time, he glitches, gets torn apart, and arrives in the war room with everybody else.
Back to the present.
And he's like, whoa. And everybody's like, whoa, how did you get in here? Like,
where'd you come from?
Yeah. And Mobius, well, the judge is saying, okay, we got to stop pruning the timelines. We got to stop. And Mobius says that Loki and Sylvie found He Who Remains, and Loki goes, yeah, I did. And oh, by the way, he takes the time stick and puts it to the wall. And this is what he reveals, the picture right over here. And you can see the wall just disintegrates using the time stick, and it shows he who shall remain.
That was very cool. That was one of the neatest moments of the show.
Yeah. Well, this is where I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
To me, and I said this with Ant-Man and the Wasp. A lot of people really didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I liked it storyline wise because of Kang the Conqueror. I love Kang the Conqueror. He is a badass that will make Thanos look like a fly.
Right.
And he has
like I was going, I was all, oh shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But that's how Loki figured out that he was traveling forward and backwards in time. And while he's there, he goes, by the way, this is the shit they're covering up.
Yep.
So Loki's brought out of the war room after warning everyone inside that a 1,000,000-man army is heading their way, which is interesting to say the least. But General Dox and Hunter X-05 are gathering a team to find Sylvie, which they still have to. They have to find her. She killed he who shall remain, and they got to do what they got to do. Now, from there, though, Loki is telling Morbius about the Citadel at the end of time and is going all out. You know, whoa, here's what happened. But everybody in the room's questioning him. And Mobius, out of everybody, is like, huh? What? No. It's crazy talk. Crazy talk. And then Loki gets ripped apart again.
And then they're like,
But I thought this was funny because this is when Mobius decides, we need to fix this. Yeah. Let's bring it to repair. Let's bring it to repair and let's see what we can do. And while they go down to repairs and advancement, I thought this was the conversation between him and Mobius was hysterical because it was just, he would get torn apart and then come back and they would finish the conversation. Torn apart, come back. Torn apart, come back. And they're like, okay. Even Loki was like, where are we going?
Well, and the funny part to me was that, Loki's talking about all the shit that's going on. And Mobius is talking about, well, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. And then the second time it looks just horrible. It looks like it's terrible.
Yeah.
And Loki's like, you said it wasn't. I lied.
But he did show concern for his friend. He did ask if it hurt.
He's like, not much. I can handle it.
And then he gets pulled again and he goes, yeah, it hurts.
A little bit.
Just a tad bit here. So as they get down to repairs and advancement, they meet up with Ouroboros, nicknamed OB. And I can't wait to just call him OB because my God, this is just hard. Will says, you're a terrible liar. Yes, that line was great. You're a terrible liar.
Yeah, I'm sticking with OB because I'm not even going to try to say what his actual name is. I'm just not going to do it.
But it was cool because OB greets Mobius first and says, hey, I haven't seen you in 400 years.
Right.
And then Loki gets pulled into the past again.
And OB's like, hey,
what happened here?
You can't do that in the TVA.
We know. It's time slipping. Wait, what? Yeah, time slipping.
Oh, so you know what that is? Yeah.
You can't time slip into TVA. Hello?
But, hello, what just happened?
He's time slipping.
Time keeps on slipping,
this-
slipping.
This was so
into
cool.
the
I
future.
love how they did this,
Yeah.
because this was a side-by-side conversation of happening in the present and the past of how to fix time slipping. And Loki was like right on top of things.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "OB,
Well-
do I know you? No, but you will."
Right. Will says, I like how he was able to get information further from his past into the present.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And more than just information.
Because as he was talking, he's like, I'm time slipping. And OB says, well, you can't time slip in the TVA. He goes, I understand that, but this is happening. And he goes back to the present. And the two of them are like, oh, you're back. Well, yes, I'm back, but how do we stop this? And he goes back into the past. And OB in the past goes, well, you need a temporal aura extractor. He goes, can you make one of those?
Well, do you have one? No. Can you make one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can make one. Here you go. Great. Can you give that to Mobius next time you see me?
Can you hold on to that until the next time you see Mobius?
Yes. So they come up with this plan because at least it's a way to fix the condition of time slipping so he doesn't alter any more timelines in the past. And it's basically they have to take Loki and extract him from the temporal loom.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, because he was at the end of time, and because Sylvie's the one who killed he who shall not be named, Loki is now suffering, going from all these different timeline branches in the TVA.
Right.
So all hell's breaking loose.
And I love Obi in the present when Loki is there talking to him, because it's like, well, do you have one of those?
Yes.
Or Mobius is like, well, do you have one of those?
No, I
And he's
don't
like,
have one.
no.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Yes, I do.
I do. It's right here. Nikaya says, oh my God, I was dying laughing at this.
It was such a great part.
It was. Obi is just in that short period of time turned into one of my favorite characters.
Of course, for me, I'm thinking it's short round. Because it is.
Jesus Christ.
It is short round.
How the hell did you get freaking Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No, Temple of Doom, and it is short round.
It's the kid.
That's the kid. That's
grown up?
That's short
Okay.
round. Yeah.
Okay.
That's short round.
Nikaya says you can see OB's mind updating as he speaks.
Yeah, because it was that instant of, oh, okay, yeah, I need to remember this. And so at the time, they decide, okay, we need to do this. How are we going to do it? How are we going to get him from the temporal loom? And they come up with this plan. And the temporal loom, according to them, refines the physical timeline. So if all else fails, what's the term you used? Spaghettification, I believe.
Yeah. Yes.
Spaghettification.
If you fall into a black hole and turn into spaghetti.
Yes. Basically, just, yeah. He's going to basically become what Mr. Fantastic became in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, when Wanda was dreamwalking and shredded and, made him into spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's basically the way to do it. So with Loki going back and forth through the past and the present, the lamp on Obi's desks, they start flickering. And Mobius says, that's happening too. We're getting constant power surges throughout the entire TVA.
And he's like, oh,
and
that's not good.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, that shouldn't be happening.
Right.
So why is it happening? Uh, at the same time, B-15 and Mobius and Loki are now heading towards the temporal loom, and the overloading branches is what they say, it was affecting the TVA negatively to the point where it could be on a complete and total collapse.
Yeah, it's overloading the system.
Yes, overloading big time. So
and it does it so much that it actually blows out one of the lights and it shatters and falls all over the floor right in between them.
Yes. Now, the other thing is, as Loki is going to the past and the present, they're trying to do what they need to do on Mobius's end and get to the temporal loom. So this was such a cool image, and I want to show everybody because it really was the what's the word I'm looking for? The epitome of what the timeline was doing on the screen. Like, you could see the branches and everything on the screen and what it was doing on screen first. Dr. Mad is back. Hello, sir. Welcome. Look, JT's here too. He's over there. There he is.
Hi, Dr. Mad. Good to see you.
Nice of you to come back. It has been a long time. We miss you, dude. So glad you're back. We're talking about Loki, episode 1 of season 2. So if you haven't watched it, spoilers. Spoilers. Big time spoilers. Yeah. Just big time spoilers. And I do want to show the image that I was talking about here, because I really thought this was so cool that it was the physical representation of what is happening in this timeline, with the timelines branching. Because if you think about it and you take a look, you can see there. I mean, my mouse is there, but you can see the loom, the temporal loom. It's one straight line, but you can also see that it's branching off into all these different branches from this one point in time.
Well, it's pulling those branches in.
Yes.
And condensing and organizing them to what we usually see on the screens in the TVA.
Or at least
which was the two red lines with the white line in the middle and all the little branches going out. But it's all contained. And that's why it's all contained, because the temporal loom brings them all in. And that's why it's overloading, because of all these new branches that are no longer being pruned.
Yes. Because everybody's surviving now. So it's like, what do we do? Why are we doing this? Hold on a minute here, folks.
I sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
You actually do know what you're talking about. It's creepy.
Kind of scary.
It is a little scary, but that's okay. We'll allow it this time. So from there, we've got B-15. Mobius is going down the walkway in probably one of the largest suits I've ever seen somebody wear. Dr. Mad says it's late over here, but that's to be expected with a night owl like me. We're night owls too. We're actually in hour number 2 because we had to do Ahsoka earlier. So we're back to back with podcasts today. And then of course we're live tomorrow. So yeah. But while that's happening, Obi says, okay, we need to launch the extractor inside the temporal loom's chamber before closing the blast doors. This way, it protects the TVA, because once we pull Loki out, shit's going to hit the fan. And we need to make sure that everybody is protected. Makes sense, right? Well, with 5 minutes left, and literally 5 minutes.
Well, originally an hour, and then something came shooting out and hit the window, broke the window, and he's like, We have 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. Gotta hurry. 5 minutes, and that's a long walk for Mobius. Very long walk. So, at the same time, Loki time slips again.
But he has the clock.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's got the clock now, so he's able to stick to the time and get where he needs to be. But this time he doesn't go into the past. He goes into the future. Which was interesting to me. That Loki been going from past to present the entire time. Now he's going into the future. And he's trying to be like, I need the time stick. I need the time stick. I need the time stick. Want to say hi to Salty, who just came in. We're talking about Loki, Season 2, Episode 1. Spoilers, if you haven't watched it.
What's up, Salty?
Highly recommend, watching. Dr. Man says, back still kicking. He hasn't come alone. Friend of mine named Cable Guy will be turning up here. Very cool. Hey, I love the names. Cool. I do love the names. Dr. Mad Studio and Cable Guy. I love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. So from there, Loki is going around the TVA now, and there's a phone ringing. He hears a phone. He gets it, starts going toward the phone, and Sylvie shows up
in the elevator.
In the elevator. I found you.
There you are.
There you are. Found ya.
Zap.
Found ya. Found ya. Salty says, I don't know what it is, and I will forget all the spoilers by the time I binge watch it. It's all good, man. Up. We always love your support. We always do. So yes. From there, once that happens, Loki is then pruned and hurled through the temporal loom as the doors are closing, by the way, because Obi hit the button and said, no, we gotta finish this off. You did what you needed to do,
But he did do what Mobius asked, and he delayed because he went 5, 4, 3, 3, 3,
yep.
3, and then he goes, sorry, Mobius, I can't wait any longer, and hit the button. So he did delay. Not by much, but he did delay. I want to say hi to Cable Guy, just joined us in the room. Great to have you along with us from across the pond.
Absolutely.
We're currently reviewing Loki episode 1, so spoilers if you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, because as Loki gets pruned from the timeline, he comes flying. And I mean, he comes flying.
He's moving at a pretty good clip, I would have to agree.
Oh, hands down. Hands down. And it's so fast that he hits Mobius and brings him through the doors before the doors close, which is great.
Yeah, because OB's like, yeah, he's not going to make it.
And Loki is now fixed. He can't time slip anymore, which is a good thing. And then he states that Sylvie, that we have to find Sylvie. We have to find her. And B-15 and Hunter D-90 start observing a squad entering a time door to find Sylvie as well, which is crazy. And that is technically the end of the episode. Besides, Cable Guy says that lock up your daughters. Manchester is in the area. Dude, listen, we love you guys. We love when you guys tune in.
Yes, we do.
It's always great when you guys can say hi and all that good stuff. So, perfect. We start seeing the credits. Credits start rolling on this episode. And as it gets through, obviously we see all the credits. I haven't watched season 2 credits in detail yet. I have to rewatch them because usually there's hints, there's things going on, in the background or pictures or something like that. And then we see a cutscene. We finally see like an end credit scene or a mid credit scene where Sylvie finds herself in, Broxton, Oklahoma, in 1982.
1982.
Now, I don't know if this is like an alternate 1982. I just know it's 1982. And she goes into a McDonald's. And I
will say this, they did their research.
They really did.
Because that is exactly what some McDonald's looked like.
Yeah.
In 1982, to include the freaking uniforms and the paper hats that the guys in the back were wearing.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Lady Death says she was 8 in 1982. I was 2 years old in 82.
Let me see how
Just
old
putting
was
it
I?
out there.
12, 13, somewhere around there.
And Cable Guy is working at the moment too, so yay.
We'll give you something to laugh at in the background there.
I love that you guys get to watch while you're working. You know, it sucks that you're working, but we also understand. So if we distract you, sorry.
Probably a good thing.
But we're not sorry. So while she's at the register, and she's dressed in her Loki gear, you know, she's in the same exact outfit of when she killed He Who Remains. And when she's asked, what would you like? She says, not anything like squirrels, possums, or rats, and preferably something already dead and without a face.
Yeah. I give credit to the cashier because he did not react to that.
No. Well, I mean, you can see it on his
straight face. He's like, well, you can try our new chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, our chicken McNuggets are there, you know. So as he's talking about what's on the menu, Sylvie replies with, I want to try everything. I want to try everything. And then it cuts to black and it finishes the credits. The episode's over. It went so quick. And it was
still a 48-minute episode, but it didn't feel like it.
I was about to say, it was almost an hour-long episode, you know?
Yep. But it definitely didn't. Now, that was the part of the problem with Loki season 1. Was there were times where, you know, it felt longer than it was.
Yeah.
And there were times when, you know, you're like, it's been 42 minutes already.
Yep.
There was no consistency with when it came to that.
There really wasn't.
So the question is, in season 2, are they going to fix that? They started out on a great note.
Oh yeah, hands down.
When it comes to the timing and the feel of the episode, so hopefully they'll maintain that.
So, Salty says, not many things have their face still on it at a restaurant. Where do you blokes eat? So, in this series for Loki, in the first season, Sylvie, who's a female version of Loki, she, in order to survive, she was eating squirrels, you know, rats, mice,
raccoons, mice.
Anything small that she can get her hands on, you know, stuff like that in order to survive, because she was going in between timelines in major cataclysmic events. Clearly, that's how she survived. So now that He Who Shall Not Be Named was killed at the end of season 1, leaving Kang the Conqueror to, oh boy, can't wait to see what he's going to do. That's probably the first thing I would do, is the minute I go in, you know, I'm free and I can walk around and do whatever, I'm going to go to McDonald's and order whatever the hell I want. Why not? You know? So for me, we're back to some pretty decent writing. You know?
Right.
Pretty decent writing. So
this was a good episode.
It was a very good episode. So here's the thing. For those that are new and never seen Avenger Pretenders before, we have a rating scale. We do a rating scale with each viewer as well as ourselves. And if I remember correctly, we use Loki's helmet, his horn helmet, as the rating system. So it's 1 to 5 is our rating system. Obviously, if you haven't watched the episode yet, we understand. We understand.
And it's one being low, 5 being high.
Yes. So if you haven't watched the episode yet, it's okay if you don't give us a rating. If you have watched the episode, then please, by all means, give us a rating of what you thought this week's episode of Loki was for you. So normally I started off, and I'm going to with this episode. I'm actually going to give this episode a 4. 4.
Okay.
Loki helmets. Okay. 4 Loki helmets. I thought it was very well written. I love that it took place directly where we left off on season 1, with them not knowing who Loki was and finding out what was going on. I loved OB, and I loved the timing and the comedy of the dialogue. It wasn't forced. It was just to me, it was almost perfect. Almost perfect. But very, very well done. What do you give it?
Well, first off, Boney-Wan Kenobi is with you. He wants to give it a 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm being cautious on this. Will gives it a 3.5 Loki helmets. Nakaya gives it a 3.
Okay. I would love to know why.
I'm going with I'll go 3 1/4, 3.25.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of apprehension with the problems that we had with season 1.
Okay. All right.
And that did it had a lot to do with my judging and my scaling with season 1 was the pace.
You're lingering.
It started out good, but I'm cautious.
You're lingering, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm cautious on this. It could have been a 3.75. I'm like you. I like the way they work things, how they started things off. Again, the graphics were phenomenal.
Oh,
when he was time slipping, it was amazing. So I'm going with a 3.25 for right now.
All right. Makes sense. Not bad. Not bad at all, in my opinion. So I would like to know about Will and Lady Death, why they're giving it the rating that they're giving. Again, opinions are opinions. You're absolutely allowed to have them. Just curious. Will says OB was the best. Yes, OB is now my new favorite character in this series. OB has blown Loki and everybody and Mobius and everybody else out of the water. He is amazing. Yeah. Will says that the time jumping made the whole episode. Agreed. And I'm glad that they did solve it in the first episode.
Right.
I think
Nakaya says, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, Nakaya says, I thought it went too fast. I thought it could have slowed down just a bit. There was a hell of a lot going on. I thought it was well written, and everything else, though, is just a little bit too fast for her.
So, okay, completely understandable, especially since it was only a 48-minute episode. And with that, and this ties to the whole time jumping thing, you probably could have gotten away with doing a second episode on that and then curing it, but
I would agree. I think one of the neatest things was usually when they're talking, they're not very graphic about things that happen. But if you think about this episode, okay, talking about, falling into a black hole, you turn into spaghetti. You get torn into spaghetti. And, he's like, well, the less you know about that, the better. But talking about when Mobius goes into the time warp, to set up the thing to pull Loki out, and he's like, if you don't get out in time, your suit's going to disintegrate, then you're going to disintegrate, and all your skin is going to be peeled off.
You're going to melt.
Yeah, very, very graphic. And then Loki, I have to kill myself in every other timeline.
Yeah, in order for this,
I have to kill every rendition of myself in order to be pulled out of this and stop the time slipping.
Yes.
very, very graphic in descriptions, and we haven't had that
No.
in any of the Marvel series. Hell, even in any of the Star Wars series. Very graphic. So it'd be interesting to see if they keep doing that as well.
Yes. And I think they might. I think they might.
I think they might.
I think they might.
It'd be cool. It would be cool if they did.
Right there with you. Right there with you. So, with that being said, this episode of Avenger Pretenders is over. We did it. We actually did 2 episodes in one night, which was great. Let me just get the credits and stuff out of the way, and then we'll finish the conversation with the guys here. So, for JT the Redneck and myself, thank you for tuning into Avenger Pretenders. We will be live next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States. So for those overseas, 8 p.m. Eastern. I know it's late for you guys overseas. But again, we appreciate everything that you do. Any type of time that you can give us is always amazing. Whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Facebook, doesn't matter. Twitter. We love that you guys can tune in and talk with us and talk geek with us, and it's wonderful. So we will be live
5 hours ahead of us. So
yes. So Avenger Pretenders episode 2 of Loki will be next Monday. We will be live tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Accidental Punch TV for The Sully Show. If you haven't experienced The Sully Show, I know Dr. Mad has. Cable Guy, if you're able to tune in, that would be awesome too. You guys are going to love the show that we have planned for you tomorrow. Holy shit. The things that go on here in this country and all that, it's crazy. So,
and even overseas,
like bed bugs. But that'll be for a topic for tomorrow. So, Cable Guy, Dr. Mad, thank you for tuning in. Salty, Lady Death, Will, was it Mr. Garrel? Mr. Garrel? I believe it was
Garrel,
Mr. Garrel. Thank you all. Thank you, every single one of you, for tuning in live. And we will see you guys tomorrow for The Sully Show, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Accidental Punch TV. Be happy, be safe, and have a great night, everybody. We'll see you guys then. Bye-bye, because the show is ending. It's ending. Yeah. Ending. Yeah.
Have a good night, Dr. Mad.
Good night, Dr. Mad.